Hi everyone. I'm sorry I can't be at the Senate meeting today, but I did want to give you a quick report from the winter plenary for the University Faculty Senate. And so some of the topics that we touched on at this meeting were advocacy for the SUNY budget, financial sustainability strategies, the UFS bylaws and standing rules, SUNY equity, inclusion, and diversity issues, actions, and programs, general education and SUNY Online updates, as well as the Elsevier negotiation updates. So there was a lot of information covered at this plenary, and one of the big concerns which the UFS president Gwen Kay brought up was that Governor Cuomo announced that the Excelsior Scholarship will increase to include incomes up to $150,000, which would increase our tap gap even more for our campuses. There was a lot of talk about the General Education Advisory Committee and the task force that is working on the Gen Ed requirements. They are hoping to have the entire process wrapped up by the end of the next academic year, so that would be spring of 2021. The advisory committee has been officially charged and has started meeting to finalize the new framework for SUNY Gen Ed, and again, by the spring 2021, they're hoping to have all of that wrapped up. So there's information in the plenary regarding the General Education Review under the Provost report. There was an update on Prodigy, and there are a couple of new task forces under the Provost that are being formed now, and that would be a task force to promote student safety, diversity, and inclusion, as well as Global Learning for All, which is a task force for education for a sustainable future. There were some SUNY Online updates as well, kind of what we're learning as we go, but there are no real updates just yet. Since everything is just getting started, they're trying to figure out what is working, what is not, and certainly where we need to improve on that. Enrollment overall is declining for SUNY, and so the provost laid out a couple of strategies that they're planning to employ for the future. So there is a SUNY financial report from the CFO of SUNY, Eileen McLaughlin, and she provides a financial statement, what we have requested in terms of our budget, which you can also find under Chancellor Johnson's report on page 2 of this document. But the CFO kind of highlights some key priorities for SUNY, and also she talked about financial sustainability initiatives, saying that smaller institutions will be more vulnerable to stress tests during this time and our deficit. So some of the areas they're looking to evaluate a little bit further in terms of savings for our campuses would be managed print, consolidating acquisition of printer devices, and they're also developing an e-procurement platform, which is being piloted on some of the campuses right now, and also textbook affordability, kind of broadening conversations with the bookstores and looking into best practices and other options like OER, digital access, etc. So we also had a visit from Clarice Torienti, and she came to talk to us about New York State Higher Education in Prison 101. She gave us a lot of information about how some SUNY campuses have programs and provide access to higher ed and courses for current and formerly incarcerated students, and gave us some statistics on that, which were kind of shocking, and so I wanted to share that with you all as well. We did have an Elsevier update from Mark McBride. Our Elsevier contract has expired, but Elsevier is providing a 3-month extension to continue exploring some more options in terms of a fair contract. That doesn't mean that we will be renewing with Elsevier necessarily, but they're still working on it. We could potentially still walk away, and again, SUNY is getting things in place in case that does happen. We also had one resolution that was proposed the day before or the day of the start of the plenary. And this again was geared towards the SUNY and CUNY budget resolution. And this was passed unanimously across the UFS. So that is something that you will all be looking at today. And we are going to have templates available to kind of get this campaign going on writing to our governor and our legislators, advocating for SUNY. One of the most important things is that we do not advocate from our professional emails, from our SUNY emails, that all of these letters should be sent from a personal email address, or they can be sent through the mail, as long as you are not identifying yourself from a SUNY email particularly. So some announcements: save the date would be CIT 2020 on May 26th through 28th. And our next meeting will be in New York City at SUNY Global, April 16th through the 18th. And this will be the 185th UFS Spring Plenary. So hopefully that gives you a little insight onto what we talked about at the winter plenary this year. And please let me or Lisa Tessier know if you have any questions. Thank you.